Bird Breer is the senior NFL reporter and lead content strategist for the MMQB. He is here now. You like the Diggs signing, I heard.
Yeah, I do. I think it's a worthwhile risk. It's just money, and I do think that there's a nuance to signing him a few days into free agency rather than it being the first thing you did. And I've said this to you guys a few times. Like, I think Vrabel and his staff and Elliott and his staff are intentional about what they're trying to build here, in that our first big signing has to represent something. Our first draft pick has to represent something, because people are going to look and see, like, okay, this is what they're rewarding. When you sign a guy, a couple weeks into free agency, I think there's a different tenor to it, and it's probably not looked at the same way a Milton Williams signing is looked at. I also don't think Diggs is a bad guy, and I think I detailed this with you guys last week, but I've always really liked him personally. I think where he gets misunderstood, like, he is one of the most competitive people in the NFL, period. And competitive to a fault where it's gotten the best of him in a lot of different cases. He's one of these receivers, and we've seen them. I mean, you've seen a million examples of this where he badly wants to win, and he deeply believes the best way for his team to win is to get him the ball. All right. And so, like, that was the problem in the end in Buffalo. That was the problem in the end in Minnesota. And I think that leveled off a little last year in Houston. Like, my understanding is he went in there and he sort of recognized, like, oh, like, Nico Collins is really, really good. And Tank Dell's a really good receiver too. And, obviously while Diggs was still playing, Tank Dell was still hurt, was still healthy. The question for me that's going to be interesting here is, okay, so Nico Collins was already an established number one receiver who had already been paid, right? Tank Dell had already, I think, had 1,000-yard year as a rookie or close to whatever. He'd already shown a ton of potential. So Diggs was able to subjugate his ego, be good for the young quarterback, because he recognized, hey, I've got something really good around me. Now, what does that look like when there's no Nico Collins in the room? And I think that's the thing that the Patriots are probably projecting the most is it going to go back to, I know I'm the best player in the room.
He is, by far.
Right. And if I don't get the ball every 5 or 6 snaps, it's going to be a problem.
Can he be a leader?
Can he be a leader with young
guys? Can he be a leader with younger guys?
Yes. And it's more like showing them how it's done. Right? It's more like, here's how you work. Here's how you do this. Here's how... like 100% he can be that guy.
But Josh
100%.
Allen certainly was glad he was gone. He's made comments even recently.
I don't think,
Bert.
We're like, Steph can be a pain in the ass, was what it was. But I don't think they left. They were on, I mean, like, they had a ton of friction, like competitive friction between the two of them. I don't think Josh Allen's made comments, though, has he?
Yes, he's made comments after, and he's like, it was very nice having guys on the team that know just because you don't get the ball doesn't mean that we're not going to have
success. And that's why they got rid of him. I mean, that was honestly, like, that was a huge
So they did have a problem.
Well, the Bills got rid of him because they felt like for Josh Allen to take the next step as a quarterback, he needed to go out and play point guard and be like all 5 receivers alive on every play. And Diggs was preventing him from doing that. In a way, it was sort of like, I mean, you guys remember when the Patriots traded Moss, and it sort of brought this different level out of Brady that year, because all of a sudden he's not looking over there every 4 plays.
Right.
And like, oh, hey, is he throwing a fit because he's not getting the ball?
Right.
It's the same sort of thing. Like,
so you're not really selling me on the Diggs thing in that sense, because if May's got now to worry about Diggs throwing a fit because he hasn't gotten the ball 4 plays in a row.
And I think that depends on, like, are you winning? Are you having success offensively? Have the other receivers around him developed? Or are you losing games? Is he not putting up numbers? Like, that's where it's going to be a problem. Like that, like where
Do you think they're going to win games?
I mean, I think like they can be like a 7-win team now.
Sure.
And I don't know that that's going to be enough for him.
Right.
But I also know that, like, Diggs has to understand that his career's this is it for him.
Yeah, but he also just got paid.
Right, he got paid, but like, and we'll see what the contract says.
No, I understand that it's
Like-
not what it is.
Yeah.
I get it, but he did get a lot of money for a 31-year-old coming off an ACL. He probably
I've
got
just
more
heard
money.
I've heard this is like sort of a complicated contract.
Okay.
I haven't seen the full details, so I'm not hiding anything here. I've
No,
just
I
heard it's
understand.
I've just heard it's complicated.
Sure.
And I have like I do think like to some degree for Diggs, it's well, if you come in here and you're a pain in the ass, like that's probably going to be it for you because he's one of these receivers. That's the other thing about like this type of receiver. Like nobody wanted T.O. as their number 2. You know what I mean? But like Larry Fitzgerald extended his career for what? Another 5 years?
He seemed to play for 25, yeah.
Right. But Larry Fitzgerald could play forever because he was never a pain in the ass. Like I think that's the crossroads Diggs is at right now. He's not a number 1 anymore. Right? So can you extend your career? Can you create new life for your career? That's I think the crossroads where Diggs is.
So interesting.
And Diggs showed he could do it
with
but
Houston.
With Houston, but he had Nico Collins with him.
Sure. So, okay, so if you say he's not a number 1 anymore, which is his age and injury history, yeah, he's not a number 1 anymore. So, if the Patriots are in a situation where they don't get a receiver in the first round, he is your number 1.
Yep.
So, where are we at in terms of the Patriots receiving core at that point? Like, would Travis Hunter would be obviously the number 1? You would think.
He is their number 1, obviously.
Yeah. For them,
Right.
Ahead of Diggs, but like that magically just isn't going to happen. Like
Right.
if
Like,
that doesn't happen,
this isn't Buffalo acquiring Diggs in 2020,
Right.
where like he can be our number 1 for the next 5 years.
Right.
Like he's gonna. I mean, like his age is his age. Like he's not going to become more capable in 26 than he was in 25
Right.
being the number 1, probably. Right. Like now the knee is going to be healthier and everything else, so there's some moving pieces there. I think like what you're looking for is if you do draft Travis Hunter, because this is a guy who like Stefon Diggs is one of Travis Hunter's comps, interestingly enough. So Diggs should be able to help Hunter. And I do think like to some degree Diggs will. I think Steph is like a student of the game in a lot of different ways, and I think he'll be able to. I think he would recognize Hunter walking into the room like, I need to help that guy.
Okay.
Because from what I understand, he was very helpful with Nico Collins, who like honestly doesn't even really need the help because he was already a number 1, and already is like. I mean, he's way, 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 way better than anybody the Patriots have in the room. And I would say Tank Dell is way better than anybody the Patriots
You
have
don't
in the
have to
room.
say. You would say this. I think everyone would agree with you immediately.
Yeah, so like, I mean, Diggs walked into that room and it's like, okay, like these aren't slappies. Like I'm going to help them. And I think if you had a Hunter in the room, like then I think Diggs would very much be like, I'm gonna help this kid become what he can become, and that would be great because Hunter is pretty raw as a receiver.
People are starting to talk very highly of Matthew Golden out of Texas.
Yeah,
which is
I think he's going to
interesting.
be. I think there's a good chance he's the first receiver taken over Tedero and McMillan.
Yeah, that's what people are starting to say.
If he has a chance to elevate any of the current receivers, who does just Diggs' presence there and compete level have the best chance of helping?
I'd say Polk, just because I
lot of room there.
No, but here,
All right, listen, we got a break, but suffice it to say, the receiver room blows.
If you like that clip, and how could you not? Check out more videos from Toucher and Hardy here. Point slightly up and to the left. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. Point slightly down and to the left. And for the latest from the Sports Hub, download at 985thesportshub.com.